I'm Mel,
And I'm Andrea.
and we've been asking ourselves, WTF? Where's the fun?
So, welcome to our podcast for heart led business leaders, entrepreneurs, and CEOs ready for more. More impact, more wealth, more joy, and more magic, all while having even more fun than ever before.
As co founders of FunX, we believe that life and business is way more fulfilling when you're following the fun.
So, we're flipping the script on success, giving you permission to create from a whole new paradigm where you can have a lasting impact while nurturing your well-being and having a freaking blast along the way.
So join us each week for engaging solo episodes
and real conversations with experts who are embodying this new paradigm of leadership, spiritual wealth, business growth, and of course, fun.
If you're ready to reignite your spark, make bold moves, and lead from a whole new energy, let's jump in and have some fun.
We just recorded with Erin Gorrie, founder of Muskoka Puppy Yoga, a viral wellness movement blending nervous system healing, joy, and puppy love. Erin's a former first responder turned entrepreneur. She helps people to reconnect back to themselves and their joy. We had so much fun talking all things about puppy yoga, her own personal journey, and really just living from your heart. So tune in. You're going to love what she has to share. All right, welcome back to another episode of WTF, Where's the Fun? I'm Andrea, and today we have such an incredible human with us, Erin Gorrie. Welcome. I feel like it's funny enough, we're neighbors. I don't think we've actually met in person. I've known your husband for a couple years now, and we adore him. He's made most of the furniture in our house. And we've been also following along your journey, not even knowing that we were neighbors and that we've been this close. So I'm so great. We should have just done this in person, thinking about it now. I should have came over. We could have sat down. Could have sat on the dock. We'll just do that later.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful for you being here. I know you're super busy, so we'll definitely make this fun.
Yes, thank you, Andrea. Thanks for having me. Thanks for thinking about me and bringing me on. It's an honor, and I'm so excited.
Yeah. So okay. So you're busy. Tell everybody why you're busy.
Oh my gosh. So it's crazy. It's been 2 years. I can't believe I said it in class the other day. This has been 2 years since I started something that I didn't realize I was starting. I launched Muskoka Puppy Yoga 2 years ago, and not knowing at all what I was doing, where it would go, it was strictly just for my own healing. I went to a class. My son was having a really hard time at university, and I was going through my own journey, and he said, Mom, I can't cope. I'm not doing well. So, my immediate thought always, because of my background, is let's go to yoga. I'll come down to the city. We'll go to yoga, center you. You'll be good. And so I was Googling studios near his school, and I found a puppy yoga studio, and I'm like,
Amazing.
what the heck is puppy yoga? I thought, oh my gosh, I've never heard of this. And so immediately I was like, I could just hear my therapist in the background saying, Erin, you need to find joy. And I'm like, well, I love yoga and I love puppies, so this must be joy that she's talking about.
Right?
So I immediately signed us up. And when we went into the class, and I say this all the time, it sounds really woo-woo. And the Erin 6 years ago would have laughed at the Erin that's saying this right now, but it changed me. I immediately felt joy, and I didn't realize that I hadn't felt it. Gosh, probably my entire policing career. I didn't know that it slowly was stripping me of joy. And so when I felt that in the class, I didn't actually know what I was feeling, to be honest with you. I just knew I'm feeling happy. I was feeling lighter. I'm looking at this puppy, and I immediately my heart was open. And that's something that in yoga, we could practice almost a lifetime, and sometimes we don't get there.
Yeah.
So I came out of the class and I was like, are you kidding me? This is incredible. I need this in my life. So I really thought, I'm coming here every week. I'm driving from Huntsville right to downtown Toronto every single. I mean, not really feasible. But that was my thought process. And then it just slowly started to kind of call. To say call sounds silly, but it just started to kind of whisper at me like, you need to start this. And I don't listen to those things. I've never listened to my intuition or my inner voice. So pushed it away quite a bit for a few weeks. And then I just thought, well, maybe I'll just look for a space. What could that hurt if I find seed? And in my mind, I thought, yeah, they're gonna be too expensive. I'm not gonna find anything. And lo and behold, I found this space that we're in that I now actually own, but at the time I just rented. Um, and it just started to organically happen. And the fact that it was easy, when I look back now in hindsight, I'm like, that's because it was right. And this whole square peg round hole thing started to become, it now has become very apparent when things are working and you're on your right path, it's easy. So has it been a lot of work? Heck yeah. It's not been easy to develop this, but I haven't had any roadblocks. I haven't been pushing and trying to make things work.
Yeah.
Just worked. So we've gone to different towns and cities now. We're kind of moving about trying to see where we fit, where communities might need us. And to be honest, it's north. It's here.
Yeah.
It's North Bay, it's Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, Thunder Bay, those areas where when you get further from the city, you get away from those mental health amenities that we all really need. So that's why I'm busy. That's the long.
Where is your studio?
It's here in Huntsville. If you are familiar with Huntsville, the old Fresco is a strip mallish thing from like, I don't even know, the 50s maybe.
Yeah, like
The
beginning of time.
But Christ was a cowboy. In behind, you're kind of up. We're there. There was a fabric land there once. We're right beside it. There's not many. There's a couple small businesses in there, but it's called the Serenity Studio. We have a big space and multiple rooms, and half of our studio is rented out. We rent out to Muskoka Music, which my boys are musicians, so it just made sense that they were part of it with us. So they teach vocals, guitar, all the things, drums in there, and then the main yoga studio is mine.
And did you have yoga training before this?
Yes.
Okay.
So I did it in COVID. I've had yoga and fitness in my life well before my policing career. It's pretty much been in my life my whole life. And then I formally got my 200 hours in COVID.
So it was just like literally you just needed to add puppies to that.
Yeah. And when I did my training, I would never have guessed puppies were going to be involved. Wouldn't have dreamt that up.
Right?
It's still sometimes I think, when I say something in class, I'm like, reach for that puppy. I'm going, I couldn't have imagined it.
Especially from policing to puppies. Like that is a very, and I also come from policing, so I understand to the depths of my soul when you're like, I really lost my joy and I forgot what joy is. And I think it is I don't know, the word magical is coming to mind. I don't know why the word magical, but that you were able to reconnect with your joy. And now this is resonating with like millions of people.
That's something that I wasn't prepared for. I had no idea that taking a little course to learn about social media was going to completely change my entire life, my entire course of what I thought Muskoka Puppy Yoga was going to be. I thought I'm just going to work at trying to get some people coming to my classes and I thought, well, taking a course will help me learn how to market because nowadays that's marketing. My old school thought process of putting up the old flyers is not good. It's right. So I had to learn. And it just took off. And it's funny because a lot of people that I speak to, they're like, "Oh, you have it so easy. You have puppies. Everybody loves puppies." I'm like, well, try, try it. Take your dog, go online and try and do it. It's not easy. It has been a lot of work, and investment, and I found this wonderful space to do my class, or to learn, with Mind Valley and Hook Point, and it's yeah, it's magic, and I touch a lot of people, and I don't really understand the magnitude sometimes. I thought, oh, you need to have 1 million followers to be impactful. And it's not true. Um, I have 40 million views. That's the impactfulness. Yeah. So, and I think everybody just needs that joy. Even if it's 30 seconds of watching a puppy run around, it sits with you for the day. And if you're starting your day that way, which we kind of all do, even though we maybe shouldn't be scrolling through our social media at 6 a.m., maybe that kind of stuff isn't so bad if it's actually getting into your heart.
It's so true. I actually think social media is how we found you too. It was
Oh, yay.
yeah, I think it was we were thinking of our participants for our fun experience, and we're like, we wanna do something that brings kind of that energy, but also, like, something we could do as just, like, this co-creation, and then I think Mel found you, and I'm like, "This is amazing," and we didn't even realize that, yeah, at that point, you were, like, literally neighbors. And I feel like our journeys are fairly similar in the sense that moving from I don't know, what got you into policing? What inspired you to go into policing?
So interesting. I do really massive shifts in my life. So, um, I found myself in a divorce and two small children. And my dad was an officer for 32 years, I think, combined with Toronto and OPP. And it was kind of always lingery, but he said, "Oh, you're too sensitive." I was like, I never want to be a police officer. I had many other ideas in mind. But when I found myself in my mid 30s, single with two kids and really no career, I was like, okay, I think this might be the time. And then there was this little piece that I had mentioned it, and my ex-husband said, "Oh, that's funny. No one's gonna take you seriously if you think you're gonna be a cop." So I was like, "Oh, there, motivation." Um, and then I went on my first ride along, and I mean, the adrenaline was there. I got immediately hooked, and I was like, "Oh, this is it. It's in my blood." My dad, my sister was a parole officer, so I was like, "This fits." Um, but prior to that, I mean, I was a model for 15 years. So it's nothing like going from boom, boom, boom. Like I really like to go from one extreme to the
Yeah, that is
um I just think policing, so if and for those that have known me or have been with me kind of through my life, it was there to teach me a lesson. It was there for to teach me what I've been through the last 5 years in this journey since I went off. Without it, I would never have known the things I know, the wisdom that I have now about how I've been operating, how I've been moving through the world. I needed policing in my life so that the runaway train that I was would hit the wall, and that they exploited my perfectionism, my people pleasing, my not being able to say no. Not in a bad way, but in a way that they were like, "Oh, great, she'll do it, she'll do it, she'll do it." And they just layered and layered and layered and layered all the work on me, and I took it and took it and took it to prove, and then one day it just was a house of cards. It just fell apart. Um, but it wouldn't have happened if I didn't do that job. So as much as I go, God, one of these things is not like the other, there's a reason. It's because the universe said, we'll throw you a job that you are going to completely implode in, so that I would see how I was living my life and stop living it that way.
it's actually really beautiful. I see policing as like one of the accelerated paths And it's basically what you just said. It's like if you want to learn something very quickly that would have taken you probably lifetimes to learn,
Yeah.
go into policing, especially as a perfectionist or a people pleaser or someone who is very driven. You're gonna learn a lesson in how to love yourself.
Oh, and then some. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So as much as it didn't seem like it was a fit, and as much as for a while I was really hurt and angry,
Mm,
um, I'm so blessed and I am so happy and I can't imagine my life any different than it is now. So I have a lot of gratitude for what happened, even though it was the most painful experience I'd ever been through. And I don't wish it upon anybody, but I am really grateful that it happened.
Today's episode of WTF Where's the Fun is sponsored by The Fun Experience, a curated mastermind for established business owners, entrepreneurs, and CEOs ready for more. More magic, more joy, more wealth, and more fun than ever before. So if you're ready for a peer-to-peer mastermind that's helping you to embody more leadership, more impact, and make bold moves, The Fun Experience is where it's at.
yeah. And what do you think, like, because there's also like that identity shift that happens, even from, I think, from model to policing to puppy yoga. Like, there's going to be many different identity shifts there. How did you navigate that?
Going into policing, I was trying to prove that I was more than just what I looked like. For the majority of my modeling career, nobody cared what I said. And I actually believed I wasn't smart. I, to my core, believed I'm not smart. I am just good at this. Put clothes on me. I don't speak. I don't say anything. And then when policing came up, because the shift in my marriage and sort of that, the bit of, my ex-husband saying, "Oh, people are gonna laugh at you. No one's gonna take you seriously." That kind of sparked something in me to say, "No, no, I'm gonna prove it to you and you and you." And then when I got in, I was immediately like, "I'm gonna prove to everybody here that there is nothing about this exterior
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah, that I am smart, I am worthy, I am not just somebody to look at, I have something to say, like all the things. So that's sort of where the policing identity, I jumped on board of it to feel like, okay, so here it is, the proof that I'm actually not just something to look at. I'm actually smart and see. um And so because I hung on to that and wrapped my identity so hard around it, gosh, was it ever a hard transition coming out of it? Because when I went off, I still believed that my worth was wrapped up in that identity of being a police officer. I'm sure they did it with you too. They introduced me as that. Oh, this is Erin. She's the cop.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, yeah, I am. Yeah, I finally have respect. People are respecting me. People also hated me, but I felt like, okay, I'm finally gaining this respect and this notoriety that I really wanted so badly. So then when I started feeling like, oh my gosh, if I'm not going back, that was the catalyst to go back, was I can't lose my identity. So I tried. It wasn't working well. I wasn't doing well. I was still very unhealthy. Um, but when I was trying to loosen my grip on it, that was the hardest part, was who am I then? If I don't have this title, no one's going to respect me. I felt like I was going to go back to the Erin that no one saw. And what I realized was that the only person that didn't see me was me. So there was a lot of uncovering and unraveling that I did. And I just didn't know myself. I didn't love myself. And that started at a really, really young age. I just wore a lot of masks and chameleoned myself. And I was really good at it. It's incredible I wasn't an actor, Because honestly, it would have made a lot of sense that I would have went that route. I didn't. I lived in Los Angeles for 3 years, and it's surprising because now that I look back, I'm like, that would have been perfect because then I could have just played all the roles I was already playing and gotten paid for
Without
it.
actually having to do them.
Right? But yeah, that identity has been hard. But I'm finally now, and it's probably been this last year, finally feeling like I'm settled. I say that I was a police officer proudly, but I am no longer, and I'm okay with that. And I am who I am because of it. So it was hard though. That's a hard identity for sure because we do that. The culture almost enforces that on us.
They very much ingrain it. I even remember like the first day of police college. They sit you all up. They make you watch all these videos of people dying in car accidents, and they're basically like, take a look around. Some of these people are gonna die. I'm like, why did I sign up for this? Like, I am volunteering to do this. And really, I remember for me, it was, they're like, you can't be yourself anymore. Like this is who you are now. So it is very deeply, I think, ingrained as a, uh, this is not only your identity, but it's not safe to not be this identity.
Yeah.
But I also think on the other side of that is so much freedom, and it's so liberating to be like, that was a lie. This whole thing is a lie. It's like you're telling me that and there's absolutely nothing against people who want to stay in policing. I'm grateful for it too. I'm very grateful. But at the same time, it's like they almost trick you into thinking you're never going to make more money than this. You're never going to feel more, I don't know, like you're helping people more than this. And it's like, it's very fear-based, I think.
Well, we kind of say that there's a few of us that have been off together, and some have gone back and some have not. But we're like, it's a cult.
Yeah. It's a fear-based cult.
Yes.
1,000%. I know. And for me, I'm kind of the opposite end, whereas like I never identified as a police officer. But the problem with that is, as a police officer who never identified as a police officer, I had a really hard time.
That's true. It's just there's two sides, right? There's there's got to be a middle somewhere. I'm really not sure how you get there or if you could ever get there, but you're right. I think you're one or the other.
Totally. Well, I definitely love that you're doing puppy yoga. So you have a studio, but you travel like literally everywhere for it.
Yeah, so we just sort of, like I said, popping up in places, trying to see where our need is. I feel so blessed. We've been into our first responder PTSD recovery centers. So one in Peterborough called Gateway. We've been teaching in there. That led to us. I was out in a summit in BC, out on the island, and we went to the Nanaimo sort of branch of Gateway, which is under ENS, and taught there. And to watch our brothers and sisters who are really struggling and in these 9-week programs, and to just watch their faces, see them all come in very closed up, and my heart always hurts because I so can feel what they're feeling. And and then it's about 15-20 minutes in, and I start to see the softness and the smiles, and then you hear the laughter. And I can't even, I mean, I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it. That's the stuff. That's why I do it. That's what absolutely motivates and drives me. So with that, going to Peterborough, we thought, well, let's just open to the general public as well, not just keep it for Gateway. So we started some classes there. So we do them once a month. I have an instructor there that teaches now. And then North Bay just sort of happened because of a breeder was up there, didn't really want to come to Huntsville. And I thought, well, why can't I just go up there? And that's kind of how I do it. I'm like, why don't I just do that?
I love that.
Do it, which is just bizarre. I mean, it's kind of in my life. If I want something, I just go do it. And I don't think a lot about really what that looks like. I just do it and make it happen. So my girlfriend lives in Florida, and she was like, "Oh, let's do it down here." So I helped guide her getting it going down there. And then we just signed paperwork for Nevada.
Amazing.
The greatest time maybe to open in the United States, but that's okay.
But maybe a perfect time.
Maybe it is. I mean, we all can use joy, as you know,
Yeah.
in our lives. So we have Las Vegas classes, and it's people contact me constantly. So if I jumped on every one, I mean, I can overachieve anywhere. So you gotta watch it. I still have that tendency. It doesn't matter where I am.
Yeah.
So I'm very aware. But yeah, I'm growing and trying to get the right people around us. I have that very special place about how it started and why we do it. So the people that are involved with us need to have the same alignment. And that's not as easy as I thought it would be to find, but we're finding them. There's lots of wonderful, beautiful yoga instructors out there that don't mind puppies running around while they're teaching.
Right.
That's distracting.
And how do you find the puppies?
Oh gosh, that's a thing. My first reaction and was, let's just open the Canadian Kennel Association book, because that's how old I am. Oh, you go on a website, Erin. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like looking, Google searching, and just finding breeders that were local. And I found a couple of really great ones that have been established for years, 30 years, 25 years, breeding dogs. So I sat with one woman here in Huntsville. We chatted. She told me, this is what you should look out for. This is how you find good breeders. This is how you know bad breeders. Like, she was so wonderful. And she brought her puppies to our classes, and then a wonderful shepherd breeder in Washago brought hers. So it just it was just sort of getting those first few, and then they tell people, and a lot of breeders are show people. So they show their dogs. So they have their dog in their class, but they know this one and that one and that one and this one. So they all talk. So that's kind of how it's worked. And we have people approach us all the time. I've had people who have we had an oops litter, but we would love our puppies to be socialized. I'm like, well, yeah. Bring him on in. I mean, even a puppy mill, I would love to socialize those puppies, but I don't want to support somebody who's doing something that's unethical. So we don't support the unethical breeders. We don't do that. But I always think, like, every puppy deserves to have socialization and, be exposed to all these wonderful people, but I can't support that. So we draw a line. The beautiful part is that those people want nothing to do with me. They don't want to bring their puppies. They don't want to take the time out of their day. They're like, we're here to sell puppies, and we don't sell them in class. What people do outside class is their business if they want to adopt or speak to a breeder, but during our classes nobody buys a dog. Like, that's not what we do.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna have to come. Do you have a favorite like breed or like memory, one like group of dogs you're like, this was my favorite, other than the first one? Because I'm sure the first one like really was.
They're so special. The first breeder that came, because she took a chance. She didn't know anything about me. I told her right up front, I know nothing about what I'm doing, but this is my thought. And she's lovely. She brought both of her litters last year and the year before. So it was beautiful. But the other one is, I call him my puppy yoga fail, because I managed to teach a whole year's worth of classes before his litter came, and now his name is Hank, and he's downstairs. Um, so I have another dog from our class. So I guess I'd probably have to say that that litter of Old English Bulldogs was my favorite. Yeah. And he just my son took a year off school after having such a difficult time, and he was working with me, and this little munchkin just climbed up on him and cuddled right in. And I kept looking and I was like, no. And David's literally the worst. We'd have a farm full of dogs right now if we had.
See, I'm the worst, and this is why Mel won't let me go, because she knows that I'm so yeah, me and Dave are gonna go live and have many, many these.
I'm like, no, but I caved on Hank. So yeah, the Old English, I like a squishy face dog. So I always have. I've grown up with bulldogs, so it's just a thing. But I love them all. They all have such different personalities, and sometimes they bring so much chaos that I'm in the middle of class thinking, well, that was a good run. It was a couple of years. It's all good. Thinking, okay, the business is done because these puppies are just wild. And at the end, people are like, they've been laughing the whole class. The energy's crazy. People have been like, their ankles are bitten, not in a bad way, but like, and they are like, that was the best class ever. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That was the hardest class for me to teach because no one's looking at me, listening to me. And I'm trying to keep the momentum going. And then it goes all the way down to like the little cockapoo puppies that are just first class, and they're kind of like, where are we? And they sit on your lap and you kind of do yoga around them, and it's super quiet and zen, and it's like, oh, it's the dreamiest class to teach. And then everything in between. And there's never two that are alike.
Yeah. And it's so fascinating too, because I bet you like the people who come are just in the same energy of what the puppies are bringing. So it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Sometimes you see the puppies gravitate to a specific person. And I often wonder, I always watch and I think, okay, they either have a dog or one lady said, I'm going to roll in bacon. I was like, well, I don't suggest that. But I've talked to some of these people and they say, I lost somebody the other day, sleeping, or I'm going through a journey like you, or there seems to be something which I find so interesting, the energy that we give off and what the puppies pick up on. And I think it's what, as a puppy that matures into a dog, why they are a man's best friend, why they do know.
Yeah.
When you're having that bad day and they come over and put their head on your lap, I think they feel that and sense that energy. So it's beautiful to watch in class. I love seeing that. And people come, all walks of life, all stories, all journeys, all times. But when I tell my story, which I do now, took this past year, I would just be like, hi, here we go. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you why I started this. So I explain a little bit. And now I think I'm giving people permission to talk a little bit after class about their journeys. And I'm starting to see we all have a story. Everybody has something that they're struggling with, especially right now, it seems.
Yeah. And you're sharing this story in a book.
Oh, yes, I am. Wow, that gave me chills too. I am. I wrote in a collaborative book with 12 other women that was published and released in February this year. And I wrote a chapter, and it was just sort of a little taste of a few little things that have happened in my life. One thing, though, being something that a secret that I guarded my whole, most of my adult life. And when I was talking to the editor and we were going through a timeline, she really honed in on that. And I didn't tell her what happened. She just kind of figured out that this time when I was a teenager, something had happened. And And she just said, I feel like if this is your final release, you get to put it out to the world and get ahead of it and not let somebody else tell your story, which is the threat that was kind of happening throughout. And so I wrote it, and it was literally the scariest thing I'd ever done in my life to put that out there. And the editor said, I think you have so much more to say. I was like, yeah, kind of.
You're like, you gotta stop reading what I'm writing.
Like, oh God, how much more could I say though? And I was like, it was a beautiful experience. It's very cathartic. It's helped in my healing. It's also uncovered things. So yeah, I'm really close to the end of the writing process now. We're just wrapping things up in the next few weeks, and then yeah, then I don't know. She says a lot of things to me like editing, which I do know what that means now. And you know, design and all these things that are going to happen, and then November is when it will be released. So it's well, I don't want to say shocking, but it's I have lived a lot of lives. I've seen a lot of things. And a lot's happened to me, and to feel like I've landed where I finally was meant to be at a month away from 50. It just feels so good, and I almost it feels so right to put a book out on my 50th year.
Yeah,
That first 50 years were pretty crazy. So now I'm going to reap the benefits in these next 50.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely have to circle back and do something when your book is ready to go. What do you think is the biggest lesson or takeaway from it? And I'm sure there's many, but it can be for you or others.
Oh, I think, or I wish that I was taught to really be myself from a really young age and be proud of it, quirks and silliness and weirdness and everything. Um, and just loud and proud and walk around being authentic. Um, Not that my parents didn't encourage that or discourage that, they just didn't talk about it. And so I figured out ways to get what I needed in the world by being who I needed to be. So I think that I would love for our youth to just and I see it. They are being themselves more authentic than I feel like I ever was or my generation ever was. Um, but yeah, I think that's the lesson is it's an entire journey of finding myself. And in most of it, I didn't know that I didn't know who I was. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know I was supposed to know who I was. So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest takeaway because you're going to see many faces of Erin in my book. The good, the bad, the ugly, and all the mistakes and things I did wrong in between.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
And on the 50th year, I think is like that's fun.
Right?
It's
I know.
also probably like equally terrifying, but
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's nothing like pivoting and changing your life at 50. I was like, wow, okay. I still have a lot of life, I feel like. So I better make sure I know what I'm doing.
but I think that's like I love how you it takes courage to do all of this
Yeah.
and to do it with grace and to do it with gratitude and to do it with I think joy is probably the most courageous thing you can do. Um, and what if someone's listening and they're like, okay, I'm feeling like I'm ready for could be the shift, could be that next, could even just be that I want that next level of joy, whatever the thing is for them. And it's like there's a little bit of fear there, or there's a lot of fear there to take that leap.
Yeah.
What advice would you recommend for them?
Do it. Oh my gosh, do it. I really did live my life in fear. That's kind of the underlying tone you'll see in the book. I was afraid of everything. Um, and so even though I seemingly have done so much, people say, how could you aren't fearful? There's nothing about you that's fearful. It's so courageous. I'm terrified at doing everything. But I think that sometimes listening to that little voice, which I never did, only learning to do that now, um, and just taking that leap and just knowing the universe is speaking to you. That's what that is. It's trying to push you in that right direction. And I think that we know that innately. We know that that's what it is. Sometimes we're just not really ready to hear it yet. So anyone who thinks, "Ooh, I'm not sure, I might want to change my job," or "I'm not sure, I might want to change my life," if it feels in your soul that it is meant for you, close your eyes, give yourself a hug, and just do it.
Yeah. Even how you were like with the studio, you're like, you know, I'm just gonna fuck around and see if I can find a studio. It's like, try it.
See what happens. What's the worst that can happen? I didn't find one, but that's not what happened. So, yeah. And I didn't identify as a business owner or an entrepreneur at all. So even though you don't think of yourselves as these things, doesn't mean that you're not. Doesn't mean that you're not capable of it. I think we limit ourselves and we give ourselves a lot of limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
And I also love how you said, like, I'm scared of everything. Be honest, like that was my thing too. It's like I'm scared of literally all the things. It's like, and like, why do I keep doing this? But it's like that's the thing. And it's like eventually you choose the things that, yeah, they scare you a little bit, but at least they're good for your soul or your heart or your joy.
yes.
And I think for people listening, if you're feeling like, well, what's wrong with me? I'm feeling fear. It's like, absolutely nothing's wrong with you. We're all terrified. And we can also harness and choose fear. Like for you, you could state in policing. There's a lot of fear that comes with that. But you chose a different fear, and fear is probably not the right word, but you choose your challenge.
Yeah.
Your challenge was more aligned with your joy. And it's like what you said, even though it is on your path, like you had to figure stuff out. Like that's part of it as well, but you took it one baby step at a time. It's not like you went from policing to like millions of followers with like nothing in between. It's like that would have been too big of a jump. You like literally took it one baby step at a time.
Yeah. And I think it's hard in our social world now with social media being right there. The comparativeness is in your face every day. We're seeing all these what we perceive as being success stories. So you think, oh, I can't do that, or that's not possible, or well, I put a video out and nobody looked at it.
Yeah.
You're right, they won't. You got to put out another one and another one and another one, and you just keep doing it. If it feels right, then it does take work. I mean, I wish things got dropped in my lap, but they didn't. And it did. But when you do get that little bit, that's where the momentum starts. And it's just, if you are doing it authentically and it's from your soul, you cannot go wrong. It just will take time and work.
It's so good and it's so true. So where can people learn more about you, the studio, all the things that you have going on?
Yeah. Our website, muskokapuppyyoga.ca or .com is where you can find all of our studio locations, all of our classes. I have my own personal Instagram. It's Gorrie. I'm really
I'll
terrible.
put it in the show notes.
Yeah, I'm really terrible with my own thing. I'm working on that still. That's been Muskoka Puppy Yoga is easy because it's my face is not in it. But this new with the book and me putting myself out there, that's a new thing for me. So but yeah, I'm connected to Muskoka Puppy Yoga all over the place, so you can easily find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I mean, I'm on all the things with Muskoka Puppy Yoga. So
Okay, we'll definitely include that. I know you had some incredible resources, so we'll have those in there. And one last question for you is, if you could share one thing from your heart to the listener's heart, what would you want to share?
authenticity is freedom.
Mm.
So yeah, maybe think about that. If you think maybe, and we do it in survival, that you've been wearing a mask, or you've created something that just doesn't feel right anymore. Authenticity is freedom. And boy, it feels good.
Yeah, that's like equal hug and slap in the face at the same time.
Right? It's true.
It's the perfect balance. I love it. I'm so grateful for you. I feel like the best part is you were just getting started too. Like, this is
Wow. Yeah. Been a lot in 2 years. Like, again, I had nothing to compare it to. So I don't really know what I'm doing. But what I'm being told, yeah, a lot's happened in 2 years, and I'm just really excited to see what the next two bring, and the next two, and
yeah.
gonna keep-
And it's so needed for so many reasons. So I think keep doing what you're doing. We're huge fans of you and joy and of course puppies. So
Yeah. You have to come. Well,
I am in.
I am just give it smell. We promise you won't steal a puppy.
It won't even tell her, and I'll just show up. I'm like secretly going to puppy yoga.
Exactly. Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Erin.
Thank you. It was absolute pleasure. And I love that we're around the corner doing this. So fun.
Me too. So good.
Thanks for listening to WTF. Where's the fun?
We're Andrea and Mel, and we're so excited to be on this journey with you to see how fun it can get.
If today's episode brought a little bit more fun into your world, be sure to subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review.
And remember, life and business is so much better when you're following the fun. So let's have some fun.